And hello and good evening and welcome to Round Rock, Texas, as OKC Comets baseball is on the air here on 1340 The Game, 1340thegame.com, or anywhere on your mobile device with a free iHeartRadio app as you look at the starters with Jack Leiter and Landon Knack and the other lineups. I'm Daniel Voiles. Sean will join me in a little bit here at Dell Diamond in Round Rock, Texas.
It's the Oklahoma City Comets and the Round Rock
Comets
Express.
are 26-15. The Express at 23-18. As we're playing game number 3 of the 6-game set.
Next.
And it's going to be a fun game here today. Landon Knack coming off a struggle, 2-5. Jack Leiter is 3-3.
Jack Leiter, he's done well to navigate through tough spots. Better than 3 strikeouts per walk this season, and that's a great sign for his development. It's hard to move up the ladder when you're walking a ton of hitters, and it's hard to win a lot of games when you're clogging the bases. I'm sure they like seeing how
Josue De Paula, 310 average, 7 homers, 17 RBIs. He's batting left.
Josue De Paula.
First pitch of the night. Swings at a ground ball to the first baseman. Will go to the first, and that's how tonight's ballgame begins at 7:06. That didn't take long here today. It is a beautiful day here in Round Rock, Texas. 70 degrees, clear skies. Wind's only blowing 1 mile an hour out to center field. Matthew Ross, the home plate umpire. Dave Lawrence at first base. At second base is Ricky Holiday. And Daryl Parker is at third base. So that is how we begin tonight's ball game. Aaron Broncho, 277 average, 6 homers, 17 RBIs. Switch hitter batting left. Leiter's first pitch. That is high for ball 1. 1 for 5 with a single last night for Broncho.
He thought it should have been a strike at the top of the zone, but he didn't get the call. And now he has to adjust to the ump's zone. Show your maturity here. You may get that call
later. Next pitch for Leiter.
Just off the
it's outside, ball 2. No score, just underway here in the top of the first here in Round Rock. Leiter's next pitch. Swings and a foul ball out to right field. 2 balls and a strike.
2-1 pitch upcoming.
Here's the next pitch for Leiter.
And the curve
it's outside, ball 3. David Bodie on deck.
And that's a walk.
That's ball 4. Well, we talked about the Express having problems getting strikeouts, and now they've allowed a walk for David Bodie. First walk for the Express tonight is here's a fly ball to left field. That's fouled away for Bodie. Batting 260 average, 7 homers, 12 RBIs, batting right.
A curve, and he works in a changeup. The 0-1.
Ball, slow.
That's outside ball 1. 1 for 5 with a home run last night.
That's the ball.
It's ball 2. Leiter's next pitch. That's high, ball 3. On deck is Ryan Ward. Three balls and a strike. The next pitch for Leiter. There's a foul ball to right field. Comets in their gray jerseys today. Oklahoma City, OKC, straight line on the left side in light blue letters and dark blue letters with the light blue letters outlined as that's fouled away. With the Comets C, with the baseball used as a Comet C, red numbers on the front right, blue numbers on the back, gray pants, blue hats, light blue brims, as that's ball 4 for the second walk for Jack Leiter. Blue hats, light blue brims, with the Comet C being hit by a baseball on the front. This here's Ryan Ward, as that's called for a strike. Round Rock in their home whites, Express across the front in navy blue letters. Ryan Ward's 234 average, 5 homers, 18 RBIs. Back to the Express jerseys. Red numbers on the front left. As the next pitch is swing and a miss for strike 2. Red numbers on the back, navy letters on the back, white pants, blue hats, blue navy hats and brims with the E Train logo on the front, as that's fouled away. And also they have their 25th anniversary patch on the right sleeve. On the left is their affiliation with the Texas Rangers.
Swings and flares it.
That's a ground. That's caught for the second out.
I'm sure he's disappointed after he didn't get the hit on that line out, but that's great contact. The next time
Comets last night, five runs.
Now, Dalton rushing.
Well, rushing near 270 average, 4 homers, 16 RBIs, batting left. First pitch for Leiter.
First pitch.
That's called for a strike. 500 average, 6 for 12 in his last 3 games for Dalton rushing. Next pitch. Here's a ground ball to center field. That's going to be a base hit. Here comes a runner at the plate. It's an RBI single for Dalton rushing, and the Comets, like last night, strike first with a 1-0 lead here in the top of the first.
Line drives into center are such high percentage swings. There are a lot of hits to be found out there. So 2 on and 2 out. Next is the designated hitter, Cody Hosey.
Bring up Cody Hosey. First pitch is called for a strike. Hosey this season with Tacoma and Oklahoma City. We'll get to his stats in just a second. 210 average, 1 homer, 7 RBIs, batting right. Next pitch for Leiter.
Foul ball there.
Yeah, that's foul ball.
2 outs, runners at first and second. That misses the zone.
It's high ball 1.
On 0-2, raise the hitter's eye level with the high fastball. We might see something low on this next pitch.
That's fouled away. Leiter's next pitch.
Pitch misses there. 2-2.
That's called for a strike. That's ball 2, excuse me. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Leiter's next pitch.
That one misses.
Low ball 3. On deck is Chris Newell.
In the on-deck circle.
Thomas trying to blow this thing open, just already underway in this ball game. Leiter's at 25 pitches. The 26th pitch. Ground ball. That's going to get through for a base hit. That's going to score a run. It's an RBI single for Cody Hosey. It's 2-0 Comets, still with 2 outs here in the top of the first.
RBI single. That was big. He put a great swing on that one. Sent it sizzling through the infield. Not much the infielders can do on balls hit that hard.
Now bring up Chris Newell.
Comets, Chris Newell. Late on
First
that
pitch,
fastball.
swing and miss on the 4-seam fastball for strike 1. 170 average, 2 homers, 5 RBIs for Chris Newell. Batting left. Next pitch for Leiter.
Next pitch is outside.
That's outside. Comets threatening to blow this thing open, up 2-0 here on the top of the first, and that's called for a strike. Leiter's already at 30 pitches right now, as here's his 30th pitch. That's a ground ball. That's going to get through for another base hit. That will score another run. It's another RBI single. It's 3-0 Oklahoma City in the top of the first. Still 2 outs.
So digging in, Armando Alvarez.
And now bring up Armando Alvarez. Leiter's first pitch. Called for a strike.
1 strike.
188 average, 2 homers, 7 RBIs with Armando Alvarez. It is not the start the Express was hoping for, as here's the next pitch. That's fouled away. They just cannot put him away. if you ask me.
0-2, here's the pitch.
Next pitch.
Close.
That's high, ball one.
Some control issues already in this one, and now he's not getting a call he's got to have. Tough break.
Not the start for Jack Leiter. Here's the next pitch. That will be a strike three to finally end the inning, but the damage is done. 3 runs, 3 hits, 2 walks, 2 left. We go to the bottom of the first. Comets lead it 3-0.
Welcome back. Towing the slab.
I'll bring up Landon Knack.
He's a bit of a road warrior. You can see from the stats that he's been death on lefty batters this season. Maybe they have a tough time picking the ball up out of his hand.
I'll bring up Dustin Harris, 276 average, 4 homers, 13 RBIs, batting left.
Build upon as he develops. Now the third baseman, Dustin Harris.
Next first pitch of the night for him is popped up. Bodie is under it in foul territory right near the pitcher's mound. Will make the catch for the first out of the top of, or the bottom of the first.
Batting second, the right fielder.
That was definitely not the start the Express was hoping for. 294 average for Trevor Halverd, 4 homers, 28 RBI.
Fouled off to the right.
Fouled away for strike 1. 10 doubles for Halver.
0-1, here's the pitch.
0-1 next pitch.
Foul ball there.
Foul ball. That's now 0-2. That's fouled away. Not the start the Express was hoping for. They were hoping for a 0 on the board. Instead, they got a crooked number on the board.
And the delivery. Keeps the
And we almost went through the entire OKC lineup just like that, as that was fouled away as well. Swing and a miss for strike 3 for the second out for Landon Knack.
So up next, Nick Ahmed.
Nick Ahmed is up.
He swings
fouled away, strike 1. 306 average, 1 homer, 7 RBIs, batting right.
2 outs, bases empty. And fires in.
That's called for a strike.
Rapid fire work on the mound. He's keeping these batters on their toes.
Not the way the Express needed it. They really just need to overcome that if we get to the second.
And 1-2.
That's ball 1.
1-2.
So Landon Knack off to a great start so far. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's popped up.
In the air, right field.
Newell's under it, and the Express are down in order. So 1, 2, 3 go round rock. We go to the second. Comets lead it now 3-0. Not the start for the Express they were hoping for, but we'll see if they can try to bounce back from a miserable 34 pitches in the first inning for Jack Leiter. Chris Saline, 227 average, 2 homers, 4 RBIs since joining Oklahoma City, batting left.
The second from Round Rock.
First pitch. Here's a blooper to right center field. That's going to get down for a base hit as the center fielder just had trouble picking it up. But it will be a single just like that. And now it just goes from bad to worse, so it just picks up right where they left off for the Comets. As that's called for a strike for Coppola, who grounded out his first time up. Boy, the Express didn't need that, if you ask me.
The 0-1.
Next pitch. For Leiter, that's fouled away for strike 2.
Now.
Next pitch.
It's ball 1.
Outside ball 1. Leiter's just been struggling trying to get some strikeouts. He's been getting balls, and that swung on a miss for strike 3. One away here in the second.
Here's the second baseman, Aaron Bracho.
Aaron Bracho is up.
Score the first time up.
Walked his first time up, later scored. First pitch. Called for a strike.
Read on his stuff. That was a meaty pitch, but he let that
Boy, I can tell you the Comets came to play here tonight. And Round Rock's just still a little struggly. As that swung on a miss for strike 2.
This hitter likes to chase out of the zone.
Already 41 pitches from Jack Leiter. Here's his 42nd. That's a ground ball. This should be 2. The second for 1. Throw to first in time for a double play to end the inning. No runs, a hit, and none left. We go to the bottom of the second. Comets still lead 3-0. If you're Jack Leiter, you better be glad to bounce back from that.
Bottom half of the second. Now it's the second baseman.
Here comes the dangerous Justin Foscue. 252 average, 5 homers, 10 RBIs, batting right. 10 pitches from the first inning for Knack. Here's pitch number 11. That's fouled away for strike 1. That's going in the dugout. That's a low ball 1. The Comets and Express Series brought to you by Waffle House. As that swung on a miss for strike 2.
Pitching. Slowed him down with the curve, then blew the fastball by him after he adjusted to the lower velo. Great work. 1-2.
Next pitch for Knack. Check swing called for strike 3 for the first out of the second inning.
And now the DH, Alan Trejo.
I'll bring up Alan Trejo. First pitch. That's called for a strike on a slider. 256 average for Alan Trejo. 1 homer, 13 RBIs, batting right. There's a blooper to right field. Newell's going to back up. Will make the catch for the second out of the second inning.
Batting 6, the left fielder, Luis.
Stepping to the plate for Round
Luis Mieses, 296 average, 3 homers, 19 RBIs, batting left. First pitch for Knack.
Bouncing ball
Out of the way, strike 1. Comets lead 3-0. All 3 of their runs were scored in the top of the first. Ever since then,
2 outs and nobody
they've only gotten 4 hits. Here's a ground ball. The Ward's got it. Gives it to Knack over the first to get the out. And a 1-2-3 second inning. We go to the third. The Comets still lead 3-0. Bodie Ward rushing due up. Jack Leiter's been overcoming a slow start.
This inning, coming up to the dish for Oklahoma City.
David Bodie is up, walked his first time up. He's batting right. Leiter's first pitch.
And the slider
Inside ball 1. This pitch for Bodie. There's a ground ball, foul.
One and one. Here's the pitch.
Next pitch.
Late with the swing there.
And then strike 2.
With an outstanding spin rate. That's really tough to hit. Time called for.
Comets still lead 3-0 here in the third. Leiter's next pitch. Swing and a miss on a slider for strike 3. 1 away here in the top of the third. Now bring up Ryan Ward. First pitch. There's a blooper to center field. That's going to be a caught by the center fielder. Dive for it, makes the catch for the second out. That was a good one. That's twice Ryan Ward has hit the ball well, but a nice catch for the center fielder of the Express, and there's 2 away. That saves Leiter a base hit just like that.
Here's the catcher, Dalton Rushing.
I'll bring up Dalton Rushing.
First time around.
Leiter's almost to 50 pitches.
Lifted in the air.
As here's a fly ball to right center field. Right fielder going back, and the Comets are down in order again for the second time tonight. We go to the bottom of the third. Comets still lead 3-0.
Moving on now to the home half of the third inning. The Comets lead it 3-0.
Hopefully the Express can get something going here in the bottom of the third. Hatcher, Pollard, and Barnhart do up for the E-Train. 209 average for John Hatcher, 4 homers, 10 RBIs, batting left. Next, 18 pitches so far. 19th pitch is now called for a strike. 1 for 4 with a double last night for Josh Hatcher.
Here's the 0-1 pitch.
That is called for a strike.
1 strike.
Can the E-Train get something going here? That's outside ball 2.
Certainly looks like the pitcher's trying to establish the inside part of the plate. These hitters will have to see that and adjust their approach.
And the Comets get something going. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
2-2.
Swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss, strike 3 for the first out of the third inning.
In the third. Pitcher and catcher obviously in sync right now, just rolling out there. Here's the center fielder, Kevin Pollard.
Kevin Pollard up.
It just misses.
Outside ball 1. 269 average, 4 homers, 18 RBIs, batting right for Pollard.
1 out and the base is empty.
Next pitch.
Next
out of the way, strike
back.
1.
The 1-1 offering.
1-1.
Out towards left center.
There's a fly ball to left center field. It's carrying. DePaula will make the catch for the first out, or for the second out of the third inning. As there's Tucker Barnhart, 330 average, 3 homers, 14 RBIs, batting left. Next first pitch.
Foul ball there.
Out of the way, strike 1.
Chases a high fastball there. Not sure what was discussed in the hitters meeting before this game. They're swinging at just about anything. Gets a piece, it stays 0-2.
0-2. Pitch.
Next offering
way outside ball 1.
2 down and nobody aboard. Here in the back end of the third inning.
Next pitch from Nat.
Now
there's a line drive to right field. DePaula going back will make the catch. And the E-Train down in order.
3 innings in the books in this one. Oklahoma City out front, 3-0.
Top of the fourth, Comets lead 3-0. 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors for OKC. Nothing across the board for the E-Train. Cody Hosey is due up.
Getting ready to hit.
Cody Hosey, the batter. Leiter's 49th pitch. Here it is.
Swinging a foul.
That's fouled away. Daniel Voiles here at Dell Diamond in Round Rock, Texas. The YouTuber, producer, and engineer back in our 1340 studios here tonight. Leiter's next pitch. Swing and a miss.
And before the 0-2 pitch, he asks for time.
I'm called before the 0-2 pitch.
Swing and a miss. That one in the dirt.
Strike 3 over the first for the fourth. First out of the fourth inning.
And now, Chris Newell.
Chris Newell is up.
First time through.
Singled his first time up. First pitch.
Fouled off to the right.
Fouled away. 1 for 3 with a single last night for Newell.
The 0-1 offering.
High ball 1.
1-1.
Knack may not have a good, that's swung on a miss for strike 2. Knack may not have a good record, but he's good on the road. He's just been struggling at home of late. Not sure what that's all about. That's a ground ball to center field. That's going to go up. Throw to first is not in time. That's going to be an infield single for Chris Newell.
But what a defensive effort. Covered a ton of...
Strikeout for Armando Alvarez, his first time up. Comets lead it 3-0 here in the 4th. First pitch for Leiter.
Armando Alvarez.
That's called for a strike.
0-for-1 struck out swinging last time.
E-Train really need to get something going to shut down the Comets here. Gave up that 3 runs in the first inning, as that's called for a strike. But since then, they've put up zeros in the 2nd and the 3rd, in danger of giving up another one here in the 4th. Leiter's next pitch. That's a pop-up. Allard is under it. Comes in, will make the catch for the 2nd out of the 4th.
The left fielder, number 30, Chris O'Lean.
Chris O'Lean is up. Singled his first time up.
Switch hitting outfielder Bubba O'Lean. 3 hits last night, a big factor in getting that win.
He's got his average up. He was like 0.71 entering this series. He's now at 261. So he's been getting better as they popped it up. Ahmed is under it, will make the catch now in the 4th. No runs, a hit, and a runner left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. The Comets' lead still is at 3-0.
We're back here at the ballpark. I'm Ben Gelman bringing you the action and leading off.
Ben Gelman.
Dustin Harris.
Ben Gelman's the TV person. I'm in the radio booth waiting for Senor Sean whenever he's not busy. Dustin Harris, top of the order, due up here in the 4th. Knack's first pitch.
He's shown some
that's called for a strike
in this game, and that's helped drive his success. Really putting the ball where he wants it to go.
Knack's next pitch. In the dirt on a curveball. Comets leading 3-0 here in the 4th. Comets scored all 3 runs, almost batted through the entire lineup as there's a fly ball to center field. DePaula going to the right side will make the catch for the first out of the 4th.
Now it's the right
Trevor Calver is up.
Struck out swinging in the first AB.
Struck out his first time out. First pitch fouled away.
Hauver, 26 years old, and he's knocked in double-digit runs in his last 10 games.
3 doubles, 10 RBIs his last 9 games. Fouled away. Express still haven't gotten a hit yet.
Here comes the 0-2 pitch.
Pitch.
Gets a piece there.
Fouled away. Remember when the Comets were up 3-0 in a hitter-friendly environment like Salt Lake, and that's fouled away.
0-2.
When the Comets were up 3-0 against Salt Lake, they collapsed in the bottom of the 9th, and that's going to be fouled away.
And that is a foul ball.
Until they go play Sacramento in a hitter-friendly ballpark.
And again on 0-2. Battling here, fouls it away.
Comets lead 3-0 here in the 4th. That's caught for the second out by David Bodie.
That's so frustrating for the hitter. Tough to accept a liner like that not turning into a hit.
Nick Ahmed is up.
Nick Ahmed.
First pitch. That's a fly ball to right field. Newell is under it. Will make the catch, and the E-Train down in order.
So 12 up, 12 down to begin the ball game. Oklahoma City with the lead, 3-0.
We go to the 5th. Comets still lead 3-0.
We're in the top half of the 5th. Stepping to the plate.
That's just a ground out for DePaula. And struck out his last time out, 0 for 2. Leiter's first pitch is high for ball 1. Comets lead at 3-0 here in the 5th. 62nd pitch for Jack Leiter. Fouled away. 3-5-0 for the Comets. 0-0-0 for the E-Train.
And
swing and a miss. Down low for strike 2.
Swing and a miss. Chases that one in the dirt. Throw to first. In time. One away on the strikeout.
Yep, one away.
Now batting, second baseman
Aaron Bracho digs in now.
Aaron Bracho is up. First pitch for Leiter.
That's off the corner.
Called for a ball.
Ball 2.
That's low, ball 2.
Up. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Swing and a
That's
liner
fouled
foul
away.
off to the right.
Next pitch for Leiter.
Grounder to second.
Here's a ground ball to the second baseman. Throw to first.
That's out number 2.
There's the second out.
Now batting, third baseman David Bodie.
Here's the third baseman, David Bodie.
David Bodie is up.
Yes.
Oh, 1.
Line drive.
Line drive, that's caught, and the Comets down in order. We go to the bottom of the 5th, halfway through. Comets still lead 3-0.
Bottom half of inning number 5 and the express batting.
Second baseman Justin.
Round Rock has a great dessert stand here at the ballpark. I'd particularly recommend the pecan
Hola,
pie
senor
bites.
Sean.
Not a great idea for kids with braces.
Down low, ball
That
1 as we
not
start the
close.
5th, halfway through tonight's game. One ball, no strike. The pitch. That's called for a strike. Ever since the Comets got 4 hits and 3 runs in the first inning, they've had only 1 hit since.
Ball inside.
As that's outside for ball 2. E-Train has been retired all 4 innings. Landon Knack would like to make
Next
sure
one's
that's
foul.
number 5.
Two and two. And
Here's the next pitch. Swing and a miss on the slider for strike 3.
leadoff batter retired in their half of the 5th.
Yeah, that should have been ball whatever, but there's one out in the 5th. Alan Trejo up. 0 for 1 with a fly out, his first time up.
More than 80%
Comets
of
still
his
lead
first pitches
3-0
are straight
here
so
in the
far.
5th.
That's a good sign for this outing.
Next pitch.
Pitch is in there. No balls, 2 strikes. Clearly,
Yep,
he's confident in his
0-2
breaking
the
ball
count.
on this one.
The next pitch for Knack.
And that's a strikeout.
That's called for strike 3, and there's the second out.
And he just continues rolling out there, looking really confident on that 3-pitch K. And now it's going to be Luis Mieses. Grounded out
Luis
the first time.
Mieses is up.
That misses
That's high,
the
ball
zone.
1.
Ball 1.
Grounded out his first time up. E-Train really wants to avoid being the second team to get no hit by the Comets. Remember, OKC got a no-hitter against Albuquerque in their last series, as that's outside for ball 2. The catch is the Comets have never done it on the road. They've done it at home, but never on the road. So that will be something to be concerned about, as that swung on a miss for strike 1. So the E-Train really need to get something going right about now. That's going to be a ground ball. Ward's taking himself at first, and the E-Train are down in order again. We go to the 6th.
Comets out in front, 3-0.
Comets leading 3-0. So we enter the 6th inning. Senor Sean will be in the... whenever he's done with whatever he's getting taken care of at the concession stand, knowing him.
The new pitcher.
Adrian Hauser, the new pitcher for the for the E-Train, excuse me, and right on cue there, Senor Sean.
No mistake pitches.
Yeah,
Digging in for the Comets.
Ryan Ward, 2 lineouts.
Last time up.
Line down the first and in the last at bat. Batting left. That's called for a strike. Well, the E-Train did a good job. After the disaster in the first, they've held the Comets as that's for a strike.
They're doing good on defense, but offense, it's been disaster.
Oh, it's a fly ball. This is no doubt gone. It's gone. Ryan Ward just smashed that ball in the berm for a home run for the Comets. His 6th home run on the game. And it's 4-0 Comets, just like that.
I should have kept my mouth shut.
But to your point, Senor, and you would agree with me, they really need to get something going. They're in danger, and like I said, 0 in the hit column is never good, if you ask me.
They need something. The past couple of games, they've been able to get runs on the board, but we're getting close to the end of this game, and they have not produced anything.
That's outside for ball 1. Well, this pitching staff has only walked 2 batters tonight. As Dalton Rushing, RBI single in the first, flew out in the third, so Jack Leiter is definitely going to be on the hook for the loss the way things are looking.
Just missed with that one. Tried to get him with
Ian Dunning and Gerson Gabarbito in the bullpen warming up. Nothing going on in the Comets bullpen, right above the Express bullpen.
Well, I'm thinking if you're the Comets here, you might have someone for maybe the next 3 innings, but in regards to that, yeah, that's pretty much it for that.
Well, we saw Gavin Stone. He went the distance and got the no-hitter.
2-2 now.
Without a combine. That's in the dirt for ball 3. Cody Hosey on deck. Oh no, the walks are about to become a problem for the E-Train. They gotta not throw a ball here. Here's a 3-2.
Spoils the 2-strike offer. Another
worried about.
Fouled away. And that's a ground ball. That's a base hit for the Comets. So the E-Train struggling, trying to get outs, continues.
Oh my goodness.
This is bad.
Designated hitter, Cody Hosey. No out and a runner at first. Pitcher will want to keep this on the ground for the
Hauser needs to get out of the jam pretty soon. Here's the first pitch to that's Cody Hosey for a strike. RBI single for Cody Hosey. He's 1 for 10 in this series.
That's terrible.
Strikeout in the 4th. Comets parent club Los Angeles Dodgers made a trade today, just before we came on the air, as that's fouled away. 0 for 4 with a strikeout last night, so Hosey bouncing back from a struggle of a game last night.
Well, not really, if you're thinking
about
it.
Here's the 0-2 pitch.
Well, at least he's got an RBI to be proud of, and now this is going to be a base hit. That's going to bounce all the way to the wall. That's going to score another run. The right fielder having troubles trying to pick up the ball. The throw is not in time. It's an RBI double for Hosey, his 2nd of the night. And it's 5-0 Comets in the 6th.
To not pull off it and make that kind of contact.
The right fielder, I think that, let me look. It was, if I look here, Halver couldn't pick up the ball out in right field, and it just allowed the runner to score. As the first pitch outside, ball 1 to Chris Newell, 2 for 2 tonight with 2 singles and an RBI. But as I was saying, Comets acquired a. They got 5 people on the bench to the E-Train's 4. They acquired Esteri Ruiz from the Athletics for a couple of minor league players.
He's showing some frustration on the mound. This relief appearance could spiral.
The problem for the E-Train is they've allowed 2 walks so far in this game, all from the starter. Well, this is not what you want for the E-Train, especially when this is a critical series, as that's called for a strike on a sinker, so it's now 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, this is just a nightmare.
And if Hauser's not careful, it could be more runs. That's fouled away, and now it's 2-2 the count.
If I'm the manager here for the Express, it's about time to get that pitching change.
Yeah, if they don't get an out between now and then. Here's a ground ball. Well, speaking of an out, here's over the first. There's the first out. So I was just talking about they need to get an out. Well, they just got one.
You gotta open your mouth on that one.
Well, I was trying to be sarcastic to make sure they needed an out. And here's Armando Alvarez.
I hope for 2 in the day, but I wouldn't trust that 0 for 2.
Strikeout in the first, flew out in the 4th. Outside ball 1. They've thrown more balls. Alvarez, by the way, acquired. That's, by the way, his stats combined with AAA St. Paul. As he was acquired in the
That is shocking. We actually have that.
Good sinker there and got him to mow the grass a bit for a simple ground out. Nice pitching.
And of course, Esteri Ruiz's trade got approved last night, which I did save as. Here's Chris Aline, 1 for 2 tonight. Single in the second, popped out in the 4th. Before this series, Aline was batting like in the 100s. He's now in the 250s.
Runner at second, 2 down.
If he gets something.
Well, he was at 261 before he popped out in his last plate appearance.
Fastball for a strike.
He's been really playing good lately since getting called up from AA Tulsa.
Already in a big hole, and the pitcher clearly has the
advantage. And for Alvarez, it was his first home. He got his first home run with Oklahoma City, so that's the combination between AAA St. Paul and here in Oklahoma City. This pitch, that's way outside. Almost hit the batter there. Don't need to hit the batter, especially these two know each other well, and they have history between these two.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, we don't need to have a problem.
Yeah, that's fouled away.
We don't need you to say your favorite line.
I'm not even going to say it on the air. I'm just going to say that just right here, right now. Parent Club Los Angeles Dodgers as. That's fouled away. Parent Club Los Angeles Dodgers, regardless of what happens in their game against the Athletics, they did win the series last night. So congratulations to them as that swung on a miss. Should have not swung at that, but he did. That one in the 6th. But 2 runs on... Well, look at the stats here real quickly. 2 runs... on 3 hits, no errors, and a runner left.
No errors, and 1 left on.
We go to the bottom of the 6th. It's 5-0 Comets.
Oklahoma City ahead in this game, 5-0. We'll move on to the bottom.
As Josh Hatcher is up, struck out his first time up, 1 for 9 in the series with a double. Comets, by the way, are ahead in the season series against the E-Train as that's tied for ball one. Final meeting between these two teams here in Round Rock. As I said, the last two series between these two teams will be in Oklahoma City as that's down low for a ball. So 1-1 the count. Knack's only throwing 57 pitches as that's fouled away.
And most of those 57 pitches are coming this inning.
Actually, he's actually had no his pitch count hasn't been run up. He's only had like less than 20 pitches.
Really?
This is his 60th pitch of the game, and we're already in the sixth inning. As here's the next pitch, and he hits the batter. I was just talking about the Express trying to not hit any of the Oklahoma City players. Well, now it's the other way around.
And they need to try to build on that. Get on base, score some runs.
I was just talking about that, and now the Express have got a runner at first. As here's the dangerous hitter, Kevin Pollard, 13 for 40. He flew out his first time up, Kevin Pollard. Hopefully this does not come back to bite Landon Knack, especially when he has a no-hitter on the line in the sixth. Last time the Comets had a no-hitter win in the seventh, but remember, they lost it against Salt Lake. But that's a hitter-friendly environment. This is a pitcher's park here at Del Diamond. This is not like Albuquerque or El Paso or Sacramento or Las Vegas or Tacoma when we're going there later in the year.
In for a strike, now 3-1.
It's called for a strike. Here's the 65th pitch for Knack.
This one is
ground ball, that's going to be caught. Aline will make the catch. First out in the sixth.
Now batting, the catcher, Tucker Barnhart.
And Tucker Barnhart gets something going.
Tucker Barnhart went deep in last night's ball game.
Yeah, he's only flew out his first time up, batting left. First pitch. That's in the dirt.
Movement in the bullpen.
Michael Kopech and Edgardo Enriquez warming up in the Comets bullpen.
Okay, I guess what I said earlier is somehow coming back to bite me. I didn't think the Comets would have anybody pitching.
But they're only warming up, and that's going to be a base hit. There's the hit for the Express. That's going to go all the way to the wall. That will score a run, and here comes the runner at the plate. It's not in time. There goes the shutout and the no-hitter. It's an RBI double for the Express, and they strike first, or get a run here in the sixth. It's now 5-1.
Now a pivotal attack in this ballgame.
It's about time the Express got something going in the sixth. So that hit batter comes back to bite Landon Knack. If you look at the stats of Dustin Harris, he's homered at home, but he's only had one homer away from Del Diamond.
Well, I'm thinking that might be it for Landon here, and he might finish off the sixth, and then he might be
Popped down the first, flew out in the fourth for Dustin Harris going, Sean. First pitch.
That one ripped.
They'd be getting sit down after this inning.
More than likely, unless this inning gets out of control. So the no-hitter goes away. The E-Train is on the board. That's fouled away. Was just talking about the Express needed to get something going. This happened to the Comets against Salt Lake. And y'all know what happened in that game. As that swung on a miss for strike three, and there's two away. No, the Comets lost. That was in a hitter-friendly environment. Remember, when they had a no-hitter against Salt Lake, they lost. And they got walked off by the Bees, as that's called for a strike by Trevor Halver. Strikeout in the first, line down the fourth.
Runner at second with two down.
That's the ball.
Ball there.
Yeah, that's ball. That's a check swing for strike 2.
Oh, gee.
Well, I'll say this for the Express, though. They definitely needed that run.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, we would have been calling Well, I don't think we would call Mr. Weatherman. Swung on a missed strike 3 to end the inning. But the E-Train get on the board. A run on 2 hits. Or, no, a run on a hit. No errors, 1 left. We go to the 7th. It's the Comets 5 and the E-Train 1.
Top of the 7th here. Here's the center fielder, Josue De Paula.
Josue De Paula. Unassisted ground out to start the game in the 1st. Struck out in the 2nd. Struck out in the 5th. Hauser needs to bounce back after a tough outing. First pitch is down low for ball 1.
Just about perfectly.
5-8-0 for the Comets. 1-1-0 for the E-Train. Daniel Voiles, Senor Sean here at Del Diamond as that's fouled away. The YouTuber, our producer and engineer, back in our 1340 studios in Oklahoma City.
I know that once this series ends, I'm not coming back up here for a bit.
Yeah, until these two teams, as that's outside for ball 2, until these two teams are in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, Chickasaw Ballpark.
Yep, the Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark. Speaking of that, the Comets will head home after this series to take on the Sacramento River Cats, the AAA parent club of the San Francisco Giants, as that's a ground ball to center field for a base hit. And it looks like the Express pitching staff are continuing to struggle to get outs, and that's been a problem for them so far in this game tonight.
This is getting ridiculous.
And there comes a dangerous Aaron Broncho, as that's down low for ball 1. Walked his first time up, 0 for 2 with a walk, which he later scored. That was in the 1st. Double play in the 2nd, grounded out in the 5th, so he's 0 for 2 with a walk. Next pitch, fouled away. Didn't see if the Round Rock's parent club, the Texas Rangers, did. We'll check up on their standings after this game is over.
Here's the pitch.
And let's see what happened over there in that game. The they are probably playing.
Yeah. Los Angeles Dodgers probably underway right now against the Athletics at Dodger Stadium.
Missed inside with the curveball.
And, of course, late night game over there in L.A.
Yep. We'll also check up on Double-A Tulsa.
2-2.
And
probably Double-A Tulsa.
Get a decent pitch to hit in this spot.
They probably already had their game earlier today. Probably might be wrong. But
well, actually, they start at 7, and this game started at 7:05, so they started 5 minutes before us. They did.
By the time we get done here,
Yeah, they'll be done.
what happened over there.
Yep. Double-A Tulsa played an afternoon game yesterday, and they won against Northwest Arkansas. They've had a rough year over there, Double-A Tulsa.
And ball 4.
I really wish, as that's ball 4, so that's the 3rd walk for the Express pitching staff. So they can't even. And yep, here comes the pitch. Here comes the manager. Excuse me.
And the line not
Yeah, get him
still
out of
responsible
here.
for the runners on base. Back with a new pitcher after this.
Let me look at the stats real quickly. That is the 3rd walk for this pitching staff for the E-Train. Jack Leiter, real quickly, his stats: 3 runs, 5 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. That's 5 innings. Hauser, 2 runs, 4 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Landon Knack has still got 1 run, 1 hit, no walks, 7 strikeouts. That's pretty much how bad this has become.
There's a pitching change here.
Here's a new pitcher, Gerson Gabarito. He took the loss in last night's game, so I really would have liked to see Round Rock, gone with somebody else, not gone with the same pitcher who lost last night's game, but we'll see if he can bounce back.
What this manager's thinking, but right now, he stinks!
Walk in the 1st for David Bodie, strikeout in the 3rd, lined out his last time up in the 5th. It is 5-1 Comets. By the way, nobody
Seems like that
out.
was just a good bit of framing right there. Stole a
This
strike.
game stinks.
135 average for David Bodie with runners in scoring position. I also got hit with a frying pan earlier because I said that number on one of the players, but to be fair, that was their stats entering tonight. And I know who hit me. It was Elmer. And, of course, I don't know how in the world Elmer got in the booth with Elmo and Kermit. That's a ground ball. This should be 2. The second for 1. Throw to first in time for a double play. And just like that, 2 quick outs here in the 7th. And runner advanced to 3rd.
Play on the first batter faced. The manager probably feels pretty good about that
Man,
decision
hey.
right now.
So maybe that decision for the...
Something to wake up the crowd.
Well, at least the manager's decision to put a new pitcher in to get a ground out worked in his favor. As you look at the replay of Ryan Ward's home run, as he's coming up the bat.
I can't. My eyes don't want to look at this.
Oh, and by the way, I should mention this: Ryan Ward is now the new leader as far as the home runs are concerned in the Bricktown era. Since Oklahoma City became a part of the PCL back in 1998. So, Ryan Ward, congratulations. Gabarito.
Man, my eyes are just burning up right here.
And there's a strike.
If Gabarito can hold this runner and not allow him to score, I think the Express will feel really good going in the bottom of the 7th. As I said in real life, we begin our series between these two teams in real life.
Today.
As of this taping today, yes, as of this taping today. Remember, we're so far ahead on scheduling. But remember, as I said this back when we started the season in Sugarland, all the games will be live on the day of the game. So whether it's either postponed or canceled, I'm following the schedule.
Just has to adjust his sights.
As planned, as of the dates of the game, so if anyone's asking.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
Pitch. Called for strike 3, Gabarito bounces back to end the inning. No runs, 2 hits, and a runner left. Senor Sean and I are ready to sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game as it's stretch time at Dell Diamond, 5-1 Comets.
Stepping in, Nick.
Yeah, let's see if the Express now can bring in new life.
Nick Ahmed, who's flew out the first 2 bats, all to right field in the first and in the 4th.
And somehow they keep landing out there. I'm shocked to say that.
Well, think about this. He's only given up 1 hit, surprisingly. He's on 75. This will be 76.
The 0-1.
But remember, Landon Knack is coming off a loss. He's lost, I think, 3 of his last 5, I want to say. He's like 2-5 entering tonight.
Oh, we'll see what happens here.
He's had 1 no decision. And that no decision, he pitched well. But remember, he is 0-1 against the Express. As that swung on a miss for strike 3. Will you cut that out for the first out at the bottom of the 7th?
Justin Foscue now at the plate.
Yes, I'm quoting that later as here comes Justin Foscue. He's 0 for 10 in this series. Ooh, that's yuck. First pitch, that's called for strike.
Oh, my goodness. I like to have a little bit of fun.
Yeah, and I'm going to be quoting that later. Next pitch. Inside ball 1.
1 out and the base is empty.
The last time Landon Knack pitched well, he took a no decision, unfortunately, as that's a fly ball. This is going to be trouble. That's a base hit. That's going to go all the way over the wall for a ground rule double for Justin Foscue. Well, if there's one player who really need to get something going after an 0 for 10 streak, it would be Justin Foscue. Yeah, just bounced off and hit the corner of the wall. That'll be it for Landon Knack.
Only 2 hits allowed,
Yeah,
so
I
that's
was
a great effort.
wondering when they
we'll
were
be
going
back
to
after a quick
finally
break to tell you
let
about the
him
new
go,
pitcher.
but he just allowed the second hit.
Well, I'll say this. A good outing for Landon Knack after a rough outing at home. And Michael Kopech is now the new pitcher, if you look at his stats.
I think Landon Knack is going to be probably the winner here if the decision is going to be made final.
Yeah, if Round Rock doesn't come back, though, keep that in mind. If Round Rock comes back to tie this game up, then it's a no decision.
And that was
That's popped up.
He went 7 in a third inning.
2 down.
6 in the third, actually, and there's the second out.
6 in the third, my bad.
But to your point, yeah, it would suck, but he pitched a good effort.
Was right down the pipe.
Just to have it be a no decision, that's the sucky part.
Series will continue tomorrow, except the catches. It's not a 7:05 first pitch, it's a 7:15 first pitch here at Dell Diamond.
So 10 minutes later than what we've had usually.
We'll be on the air at 7 p.m. on the dot for Comets on Deck. Do not know who will be starting for both teams until we get to see who's the pitching persons. If I were to take a guess for the Comets, I think it's the pitcher who just got called up from AA Tulsa, who pitched very well in his Comets debut. I think that would be him. I'm trying to remember who it is. The last time I checked yeah, I know Michael Frosso's down in AA Tulsa, but he's got a 3-0 record, so he might be called back up to the Comets because his time with Oklahoma City, he's 3-0. Or possibly may have Clayton Kershaw on rehab assignment. Either way, we don't know who will start for the Comets. We don't know who will start for the Express.
Downstairs.
For that game tomorrow. Again, a 7:15 first pitches. That's ball 3. Josh Hatcher on deck. And that's a fly ball to left field. That's going to be caught to end the 7th. No runs, a hit, and a runner left. We head to the 8th. The Comets lead it 5-1. I actually have to look.
Ready to get the 8th inning go.
I have to look and see who would it be for the Comets. That's not what I wanted, you derp. I'm going to look at the bullpen. I believe if I were to take a guess, I would probably say River Ryan will start for the Comets tomorrow. Who, by the way, pitched very good in his debut with Oklahoma City. I think River Ryan will start for the Comets. TBA on who goes on the mound for Round Rock, depending on any call-ups between now and then. Ball 1. 7,919 here at Dell Diamond.
And right now, they might get disappointed here for the Round Rock fans.
And now the 1-2.
1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3, one away in the 8th.
Batter out here in the 8th. Digging in for the Comets, Cody Hosey.
Cody Hosey, 2 for 3 tonight. Singled in the first, doubled in the 6th. He struck out in the 4th. That's called for a strike. 5-1 Comets here in the 8th.
Change up on the corner at the knees.
And of course, I'm not the only one who's calling Comets games on. As I knew Sean was going to post that Minecraft. I'm not the only one who's doing Comets baseball on for content. Of course, our producer and engineer, the YouTuber, is doing the same thing over on his channel. And take a guess who he's taking on, as that's called for strike 3.
That's 2 up, 2 down.
You want to know? You want to know which series he's on now?
Now the right fielder, Chris Newell.
The Round Rock Express. Ironically. Well, here's the catch. As here's the first pitch for Chris Newell. That's called for a strike. The catch is he's on his first series meeting with the Express. Remember, I'm on the second. Because remember, I'm following the real-life calendar. That's fouled away. So you can tell how many series the YouTuber is behind.
He's slow anyway, so.
I hope he didn't hear that. That's outside for ball one.
I think the producer's going to have a talk with me after this.
1-2 the count, the next pitch. Here's a fly ball to left center field. This is going to be trouble, and it's going to be trouble. That's going to be a ground rule double for Chris Newell.
That's a nice swing for the automatic double there. He gets to just amble into second base and wait for his teammate to drive him in.
If it had a little bit more oomph, it would have been a home run for Chris Newell. Instead, it's a double. I'll bring up Armando Alvarez, who was acquired in the trade with the Twins, as here's a fly ball that's fouled away. Strikeout, fly out, and ground out in his 3 at-bats tonight.
They need to get this inning over to the Express.
And a nice strike 2. And think about this. The Comets have 5 players on the bench to the Express's 4.
Man at second with 2 down.
As there's a ground ball for a base hit. Also, should I mention, as here's another run scored, it's an RBI single for Alvarez. It's 6-1 Comets. I was going to get ready to mention the Express are the Express. The last time they faced the Comets, they're not. The Comets are without, by the way, one of their players. Should I remind you all?
Now it's the switch hitting outfielder Bubba Aline, 1 for 3.
And I know Sean's going to be asking, wait, who's that one player I'm thinking of? If you go back to the Albuquerque series, the Comets are without one of their players.
Alvarez, the runner at
so all of these players who are stepping up to the plate, yeah, the Comets have only one injury, which he's out for a month to 2 months.
I didn't get mentioned on any injuries, so.
You're probably wondering who that player is. That means when he comes back, the Comets will now have 6 players on the bench. Let me actually look.
My fault, folks, on me messing it up.
I'm trying to think who that player is that is out with an injury, if I recall correctly. If I were to take a guess, I think it's Austin Gauthier. I could be wrong. And it is Austin Gauthier. Remember, the Comets are without Austin Gauthier because if you remember back to the Albuquerque series, he's out 1 to 2 months due to an injury. As here's a ground ball. This should be the final out, and it will be the final out to end the 8th, but a run on 2 hits and a runner left.
Pushes across a run. And this is
so, yeah, they are without Austin Gauthier. Remember, Austin Gauthier is out with an injury. He got hurt.
This game's about over, folks.
Yeah. And, of course, this is the first time the Express are facing the Comets without Austin Gauthier, who got hurt. I think it was the Saturday game, if I recall correctly, as that's fouled away for strike 1. I think, yeah, he got hurt while trying to go for second. He slid and he hurt his knee, so which he had to leave the game and did not return. So he has not played since he got hurt. So that sucks for him, but could have been out for the season, as that's way high for ball 1. Little chirpiness there from the Express players, but you kind of figured that was coming because.
Yeah, what was that?
Don't know what Kopech was thinking, as that's a ground ball from Broncho the second over to Ward at first for the first out of the 8th.
Man, are we about to have problems here?
Well, remember, they haven't issued warnings.
My goodness, let's not get to that part.
Yeah, let's not hit any more batters, please. We don't want to have to issue warnings, and we don't want a player ejected.
Oklahoma City.
Remember, it's happened. Remember, the Comets did get a little testy with, I think it was...
2 balls, no strikes.
Trying to remember who... I think it was I want to say, one of the El Paso players, and he was ejected on the spot. As that time for ball 3, Tucker Barnhart on deck. So we've seen it with the Comets and the Chihuahuas, which I kind of figured was going to happen between those two, because remember, those are division rivals after all that are affiliates.
And they both decided to become bozos.
Well, actually, El Paso started the incident, and El Paso and the umpire wasted no.
Teams became a bit aggressive.
Actually, no, it was El Paso who was being aggressive. That's ball 4. That's the first walk for the Comets all night on the pitching staff for a walk.
Man at first with 1 gone.
Would now bring up Tucker Barnhart. But to go back to your point, yeah, it was only El Paso who started continuing to hit batters, and they finally ejected a player just like that.
Down and in.
1-0.
So there you go. And then they had to make a quick pitching change just like that. But that's been the only ejection we've had so far this season. We have not had anybody from the Comets that got ejected. We've not had anything between the Express, so they're trying to be a little bit more careful between each other.
Be careful? What's being careful?
I don't know. Here's the next pitch. That's outside ball 2.
I know, that was terrible. I'm sorry.
Landon Knack also trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. As I said before, he's lost his last 3 starts. Here's a fly ball, ground ball. That's going to get down for a base hit. That's going to go all the way to the wall. That's going to definitely score a run.
And here comes the runner.
Runner, here's the throw, the plate. It is not in time. It's an RBI double for Tucker Barnhart, his second of the night. And the E-Train are on the board in the 8th. It's now 6-2. Just went right past Newell. He died, could not make the catch. Goes past him in the right field, all the way to the wall. DePaula had to pick it up. So the E-Train have scored a run just like that.
Digging in for the Express, Dustin
now a runner at second with 1 away for Dustin Harris. First pitch, ground ball to Bodie over the first for the second out.
Now back, right fielder, Trevor.
Coming up to the dish for Round Rock.
Trevor Halver at the plate, 0 for 3 tonight. Struck out in the first, line down the 4th, struck out in the 6th. Comets lead now at 6-2 here in the 8th.
Strike on the
That's
outside.
called for a strike.
Barnhart at second with 2 away.
304 average for Trevor with runners in scoring position. That's outside ball 1. Pitch.
And the count 1-2.
Out of the way. 6-2 lead for the Comets here in the 8th inning.
Runner at second with 2 down. That one down the line.
That's a ground ball. Oh, Bodie couldn't pick it up. Throws the first, does get the out. Almost got an error, but that ends the inning. But a run on 2 hits by Tucker Barnhart. They left a runner on base. We head to the 9th. The Comets lead it is 6-2.
We're back. It's the top of the 9th, and there's a new pitcher on the mound.
Next series for the Comets, as I talked about, is Dave Dunning is the new pitcher on deck. It's not number 33, announcer, you darping hyena. Start saying Dave Dunning before Sean goes over there and hits you with a baseball bat.
I'm going to hit you with a baseball bat.
Speaking of Sean, the next series for Sean will be against Charlotte.
Off the mark there, and that's ball 1.
Of course.
Yeah, Weird, the Round Rocks heading to North Carolina after this series. They're taking on the Charlotte Knights. As that swing and a miss, strike one.
Some nasty action on his sinker, and hitters need to force him to come up in the zone if they want to avoid chasing the low stuff.
No offense to the people of Charlotte. They probably are nice people. It's just, I'm not a big fan of going out there.
Yeah, that's where Round Rocks' next series is going to be, as that's a ground ball over the first for the first out. That's, by the way, another international versus PCL.
The second baseman, Aaron Roger.
Another team that's also going to be playing another International League team. The next series will be Salt Lake. They're taking on their favorite friends, the Omaha Storm Chasers, which will be the first time Omaha will get to see the new ballpark in America First Square for the first time ever, as David Buchanan, Jesse Chavez warming in the Express bullpen.
0-1, here's the pitch.
That's, by the way, that's the next series, so you know what that means. Salt Lake, Omaha just made the list, and so did Charlotte and Round Rock.
Ball, one strike.
As that's outside.
2-1.
Wait. Should I put you on the list as well?
Well, later in the season, you will.
Just missed. That's great.
That's all three. David Bodie on deck as Ferrari one out here in the bottom of the... Going to be air in the top of the ninth, I should say. Dunning's next pitch.
I'm sorry, folks.
That's fouled away.
He's here, and I'm not.
Now the payoff pitch. Swings and misses. Struck him out.
The Texas Rangers, the Round Rocks parent club, the Texas Rangers taking on the Houston Astros. As of today being Thursday. Of course, we are going to be halfway through the final series here in Round Rock. That's called for a strike. Don't worry, we're going to just check all the scores, all that. After this game is over, we'll have your Comets post-game report.
And there's a breaking ball that drops in.
The only time Sean did not join me in the booth for this series was the series opener that I had to do by myself, but hey, it was fine.
Swings through it.
Swing and a miss, strike three. Well, to be fair, I did it like after you went to bed. So, there you go. Bottom of the ninth, as that will end the inning for the Comets, as they get nothing on the board. And Edgardo Enriquez going to be the pitcher coming in. So they're saving their closer for another day. 231 against lefties, nothing against righties. 5 2/3 of an inning. Well, remember, Enriquez has had troubles with the Express as far as getting balls and strikes, and also trying to limit hits. We'll see what happens. Next pitch. Here's a ground ball. Broncho's under it over the first, and that's the first out of the ninth.
Oh boy, I think this game.
But remember, we've talked about the Express, who split the 6-game set between these two. Oh yeah, I do not remember if I've had Sean for the series, for the first meeting between these two. I do not think I did, as that's the second out. Now the E-Train down their final out.
You didn't have me for the first series. So.
Well, at least I've had you for the second, so that's... Now we're even Stevens.
But then I need to still go out to Oklahoma, so
And that one
that's fouled away. Alan Trejo's on deck at the batter's box.
I'm not going to say what I normally have to say about Oklahoma, because I don't want to have a talk.
You don't want to have an evil army, as that's called for a strike. Now the E-Train down to their final strike.
And we were at this point yesterday when Round tried to do something.
Fouled away. 100 miles an hour. I don't think this is a save opportunity, but I could be wrong. Next
I think
pitch.
it might.
That's fouled away.
We'll try again.
Well, they don't have the closer, so...
The
Express.
we'll see here.
Next pitch.
And the count
High,
1-2.
ball
I
one.
know it turned out to be a ball, but it very well could have been strike 3 to end the game. That would give you nightmares.
Yeah.
Here's the 1-2.
Do not remind the comments why. That's a fly ball to left field. That should do it to end the game as the Comets win it 6-2. It all started with that 3 runs on 4 hits to begin the ball game, and Round Rock never recovered as the Comets win it 6-2. They've now won the first 3 games of this series. 6-11-0 for the Comets, 2-3-0 for the E-Train. And Landon Knack does get the win and snap a 3-game losing streak, and he bounces back after a tough loss the first time he played against the Express. And there's where it all started. Dalton Rushing kicking it off with all the RBIs and all that. There's that beautiful catch from Dustin Harris earlier in the game. So I will say Dalton Rushing's RBI, the play of the game, presented by H&H Shooting Sports, what proved to be the difference maker. Gave the Comets the lead, and they never gave it back, never gave it up, and win 6-2 in the contest. Landon Knack gets the win. 6 1/3, a run on 2 hits, no walks, 8 strikeouts. That's, by the way, a season low that opponents against Landon. So he improves to 3-5. Jack Leiter took the loss. 5 innings, 3 runs, 5 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. He does take the loss. And Sean, that was a no save. There was no save. Kind of surprising that it is a no-save opportunity, but nevertheless.
I'm just disappointed.
Hopefully the Comets are 27-15. The E-Train fall to 23-19. As we do got a report coming up. I'll look at it in just a second.
Oh boy, that might be something.
Well, I talked about, hold on. Oh, Drew Swift was sent down to the Loons. Okay. Looks like Joendry Vargas got called up to the Drillers. Okay, nothing about Oklahoma City I need to be aware of.
Oh, so nothing important. Okay.
Nothing important. Is there a way I can go to the injury report? Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. Alex Freeland is out. I'm sorry. I said, who did I say?
I don't know what you said.
I said Austin Gothier. It was actually Alex Freeland who got hurt in the series with Albuquerque. Real quickly, looking at the standings, Comets have a 2-game lead over the Isotopes. And right now, if things stay the way it is, the Comets will clinch the first half. But like I said, still a long way to go in the first half of the season. Let's look, first of all, at scores around the rest. I'm going to take a look at the... hold on a second. Oh, I forgot to do this. Oh, the Rangers kicked the shit out of the Astros 11-2. There you go. Texas is like, I'm going to do something very illegal to the Astros. And, well, good for them.
Wait, did the Dodgers do anything?
Well, we'll get to the Dodgers in just a second. But first, we got to go over the scoreboard of the International and the PCL. Nashville and Memphis, 2 teams, the old PCL. I don't know why they're part of the International League, but nevertheless. Memphis beats Nashville 5-2. Memphis is now doing really good against the Sounds. Zach West got the winning boost to 1-4. Zach Thompson is 14th save. Jacob Mizurowski got the loss. He's 1-5. He's now lost 5 in a row. Jake Bowers had the only home run for the Sounds. Jose Barrero, Thomas Sagri, Jacob Butchberger, and Jimmy Crooks had RBIs for the Redbirds of Memphis. By the way, that's who Oklahoma City will have later this year. So there you go. Jacksonville shut out Norfolk 1-0, held the tie to just 3 hits. Winning pitcher Matt Fouchard, he's 1-1. Xavier Curry's 10th save on the year. The loss to Luis Gonzalez, he's 0-2. Only run scored was a Tyler Callahan's RBI double for the Jumbo Shrimp. Louisville beat Iowa 2-1. Louis Aguirre got the winning boost to 4-3. Josh Stoutmount, his 10th save on the year. He lost to Cody Poti. He's 3-4. He's really been struggling of late. Austin Hendrick and Edwin Aurora got RBIs for the Bats. Benjamin Cowles had an RBI double for the I-Cubs in the loss. St. Paul beat Indianapolis 3-2. Winning pitcher for the Saints was Randy Dobinack. He's 3-4. Michael Tumpkin has 12 save on the year. The loss to Thomas Herring. He's 3-4. Esther Mercedes hit a 3-run homer for the Saints. Emmanuel Valdez and Bryce Johnson had RBIs for the Indians of Indianapolis. Buffalo beat Worcester 2-1. Winning pitcher for Buffalo was Jake Bloss. He's 2-3. Nick Sandelin got his 3rd save on the year. The loss to Shane Doran. He's 0-2. Corey Roser had the only home run for the Red Sox. Domingo Palmagani had the only 2 RBIs, which was an RBI triple for the Bisons in the contest. Rochester shut out Durham 3-0. Rochester winner was Cade Cavalli, the former Cub. He's 5-2. Colin Poach, his 13th save on the year. Nathan Wiles, the loss, he's 3-4. Only runs scored in the contest was Jose Tena and Jackson Clough's RBIs for the Red Wings of Rochester. Wilkes-Barre Scranton or Scranton Wilkes-Barre, whichever you want to say, won over Toledo 2-1. Winning pitcher was Jake Cousins. He had proves a 3-2. Kenda Maheda, the loss, he falls to 1-2. Jace Jung, the ex-Nashville player, had an RBI for the Mud Hens. Dominic Smith had the only 2 RBIs to lead the Rail Riders to victory. Lehigh Valley beat Syracuse 7-6. Winning pitcher for the Iron Pigs was Tajon Walker. He's 1-2. Joe Cunell, the former Cub, he's his 12th save on the year. The loss went to Reed Garrett. He falls to 0-4. Gabriel Recones Jr. hit a 3-run homer for the Iron Pigs. Ethan Wilson, Cody Clemens, Buddy Kennedy, Marcus Lee Sang had RBIs for the Iron Pigs. Jose Azacar, Jonathan Walton, Drew Gilbert, Rowdy Jordan, and Jackin Reitz had the only RBIs for the Mets. Speaking of Charlotte, they fell to Gwinnett 6-2, the series that Ron Rock is going to be heading to next. Darius Vines got the winning produce of 5-2. Buck Farmer, his 10th save on the year. The loss to Noah Schultz, his first loss. He's 0-1. Bobby Dalbeck had a 2-run homer for the Knights. Nacho Alvarez Jr. homered for the Stripes, hit 3-run homer, that is. David Fletcher, Gary Cooper, and Jake Mazinek also had RBIs for Gwinnett. Finally, for the International League, then we get to our friends of the PCL. Omaha shut out Columbus 9-0. Winning pitcher was Ross Stripling. He's 4-1. Slade Ciccarone, the loss, he falls to 5-3. Only runs scored. Look at this nonsense. Drew Waters, Nick Lofton, Tyler Gentry, Jordan Groshans, and Javier Vaz had RBIs, all for the win for the Storm Chasers of Omaha. Now to our favorite friends, the PCL scoreboard. Sugarland stops the bleeding. They beat Reno 5-4 as they won, as they really got something going. Finally, a much-needed win for Sugarland after they've been struggling. Stephen Oker got his first win. He's 1-2. Miguel Castro is 12th save on the year. Kendall Graveman took the loss. He's 1-3. Yuman Lin figured a no decision. Tommy Troy and Jesus Valdez had home runs for the Aces. Cooper Hummel, Kennedy Corona, Zach DiZenzo, and Walker Yannick had RBIs for Sugarland in the contest, the Space Cowboys. Talking about a team who's hot, Albuquerque beat Tacoma 6-4. Winning pitcher for the Isotopes was Jack O'Loughlin. He's 5-3. Jeff Criswell, his 5th save on the year. Revan Scooter took the loss. He's 1-5. He's really been struggling of late for the Rainiers. Jack Lopez hit a 3-run homer for the Rainiers. Ben Williamson, RBI for him for the Rainiers of Tacoma. Charlie Condon had a 3-run homer for the Isotopes. Aaron Shunk and Nick Martini had an RBI as well for Albuquerque in the contest. El Paso beat Las Vegas 2-1. Victor Lazarraga got his second win. He's 2-4. Brian Hoeing, his 6th save on the year. Lost to Ryan Kuzik. He's 2-4. Brandon Valenzuela and Cody Roederer had the RBIs for the Chihuahuas. Carlos Cortez had the only home run for the Aviators of Las Vegas. Finally, Salt Lake shut out Sacramento 7-0. Winning pitcher for the Bees was George Klassen. He's 2-2. Victor Medeiros, his 1st save on the year. The loss to Trevor McDonald. He's 3-4. He pitched 1 2/3 of an inning at Sutter Health Park. Scott Kingery had a 2-run homer for the Bees. Chad Stevens had 3 RBIs. Anthony Morine, Tucker Flint, also RBIs for the Bees. And those were the only runs scored in that contest. And you already know who won the Comets and Express, so we don't have to go over that. Los Angeles Dodgers, regardless of what happened today, they won the series against the A's, but got shut out 2-0. JP Sears got the win, improves to 5-3. Yoshinobu Yamamoto took his 2nd loss. He's 6-2. Dodgers do, however, win the series 2-1. Shea Langariz and JJ Bleday had the only RBIs for the Athletics, as JP Sears went the distance. 1 hit, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Yoshinobu Yamamoto pitched 5 2/3, 2 runs, 7 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, took the loss. Dodgers, as I said, take the series 2-1. They begin the Freeway Series tomorrow against the Los Angeles Angels in the Freeway Series. Roki Sakai will start for the Dodgers. He'll take on Kyle Harrison of the Angels. They are 21-21. Around the Dodgers minor league system, AA Tulsa falls to Northwest Arkansas 2-1. Frank Mazzucato, his 4th win. He's 4-3. Maddox Burns, his 2nd loss. He's 0-2. Eric Pena had the only home run for the Naturals. Jack Pinedilla also had an RBI for Northwest Arkansas. Grifford Lockwood Powell had the only home run for the Drillers. They will take on Northwest Arkansas tomorrow night. Well, speaking of tomorrow, it is the Comets taking on the Round Rock Express. It will be a 7:15 first pitch. River Ryan pitched very good in his debut against Albuquerque, but this will be his first test on the road. We'll see how it happens. The Express have never faced against River Ryan. This will be the first time they will face this kid. With Oklahoma City, he's 1-0 with a 3.008 earn run average. With AA Tulsa, he is 4-2 on the year. He'll take on Michael Platzmeyer, looking to bounce back after a tough loss in the Express's last game against the Chihuahuas. He is 6-2 with a 2.59 earn run average. A 7:15 first pitch. We'll be on the air at 7 o'clock with Comets on Deck here on 1340 The Game, 1340thegame.com, or on the iHeart Radio app. Today, the Comets win at 6-2 here in Dell Diamond. 6 runs, 11 hits, no errors for your OKC. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the E-Train. Landon Knack got the win, improves to 3-5. The loss to Jack Leiter, he's 3-4. There was no save. Comets have now won 3 in a row and improved to 27-15. The Express fall to 23-19. Round Rock has now lost as I am going to go back to their stats here, Round Rock has now lost 4 in a row. For our producer and engineer, the YouTuber, back in our 1340 studios, and for Senor Sean, I'm Dean DeVoe saying good night from beautiful Del Diamond in Round Rock, Texas. Thanks as always for joining us. We appreciate your listenership and your support, and hope you'll do it again with us tomorrow. You've been listening to OKC Comets Baseball, presented by Courtyard by Marriott.